Welcome back to Marilyn Monday. Did you miss me?
The entire reading can also be found in the video description below. Marilyn once received a palm reading from a table-to-table Swami named Hassan. He said that she was passionate and would have 2 children, and that she would be an excellent sailor. And Marilyn laughed and said, "I get seasick just by looking at water." Now we know that's not true. She was at the beach all the time. Alright, maybe sometimes it was true. But even his business card makes it super clear that he's an actor performing for entertainment purposes only.
No matter what you believe in, this'll just be for fun. So let's see what my hands say about me.
Oh, and real quick, I am not a qualified expert on palm reading. Hopefully viewers will not think that just because they have 1 or 2 of the same particular features in their palm, that their fortune would be the same. This is strictly a reading for young Norma Jeane. The lines on your hands change every 6 months or so, just like the lines on your face change, and this allows your palm's fortune to grow with you. The lines on your left hand represent the destiny laid out by the universe. The right hand would represent the path you have paved, like the Google Maps recalculated route based on the choices you have made so far, and where they could take you from there. We'll be reading her left palm using photos from 1946 when she was still Norma Jeane Doherty. The reference materials we'll be using were written in 1942 and not published until 1948, the very same time as the photos of young Norma Jeane. The shape of the fingers. The pointed finger brings severe mood swings between despair and exultation, and a disproportionate self-interest. It also suggests warmth and a capacity for deep devoted love. If there is a space between the third and last finger, the individual may expect an attractive business offer, possibly a partnership in some going concern where her special capacity for direct action is particularly desired. When the fingers bend backward readily, watch out for extravagance with money. If the thumb is bent back without much trouble, she tends to exaggerate things too much. The 7 mounts. The Mount of Mercury. A normal development here indicates that the individual is going to do a certain amount of traveling during her lifetime. She will deservedly acquire a reputation as a wit, and her quick and agile mind will also bring her considerable fame. She'll also be a noted conversationalist. If this mount is placed close to the mount of the sun, she will frequently be called upon to speak in public, and her brilliant eloquence will make her extremely popular as a toastmaster, after-dinner speaker, or political orator. To she who possesses the mount of the sun belong fame and wealth. Her instinctive love of beauty and splendor will lead her to success in the arts. She will be greatly admired because of her poise, her generosity, her graciousness. A truly sunny and golden personality, she will be able to see the bright side of things no matter what troubles beset her, and her natural optimism will be transmitted to all those about her, inspiring them when they are melancholy. Though her temper flares up easily, she will seldom make permanent enemies, for she will not be one to harbor grudges or to stay mad for very long. There is an unfavorable side to all this. Though she will have hosts of acquaintances, it is probable that she will never have very many true friends. She may be affectionate, but she will not be very persistent, either in friendship or in love. For this reason, her marital life may never be very happy, and her circle of friends will constantly be changing. Overdevelopment of the sun means a serious danger of self-deception. Excessive vanity in matters of dress and conduct will lead her to reckless spending and general extravagance. This is a sign of the butterfly type, careless, spendthrift, lacking in true wisdom. This type is a ready victim for flatterers who may lead her into very serious difficulties because she is unwilling to face the stern realities about her. Having the Mount of the Sun with the Mount of Venus, you would be wise to take up a career as an actor, a singer, or a dancer if you have a reasonable amount of talent, for you will always be happy in a profession in which you are giving pleasure to other people. You are naturally intended to be an entertainer. The Mount of Jupiter with the Mount of Mercury is a favorable sign, a talent for writing verse which may flower into a considerable gift someday. With the Mount of the Sun, it means she will be very rich and her name will be known from one end of the land to the other. Jupiter with Mount of Venus means your company will be loved and valued. This will be because of your naturally sunny nature, your sincerity, and your true devotion to those who are close to you. The Mount of Venus. Normal development shows a passionate disposition and a number of ardent love affairs. There is also the danger that you will be of a flirtatious or fickle nature, drifting from one intense amour to another. However, this can be controlled and is nothing to worry about. In general, this stands for an admiration and adoration for the opposite sex and shows that with a knowledge of the affairs of the heart, a happy marriage can eventually be counted on, in which there will be much joy and gaiety. Music and dancing and song are indicated, and in general, a gracious auspicious and pleasant life among friends and acquaintances. She will always be known as one who lives well and who knows how to relish the best in life. The Mount of Mars. Normal development of the Mount of Mars in women indicated high spirit and pride, which will attract the bold and vigorous type of man. Love will be deep and glowing and will have a dash of style to it that is usually only found in the movies or in novels.
Nice work, Marilyn.
It may be coupled with adventure of some sort. The honeymoon may be to some distant land or climb where hidden danger lurks, but where the reward is great. From this type of person, you can expect a complete frankness and a sincere charm which will win many friends and followers. Daring and courage will take her into many strange and exciting places, and all through her life she will know action and even danger. But where a weaker type might cringe with fear, she will thrive on the stimulation such a life will bring. The Mount of Mars with the Mount of the Moon. I think this might be what the Swami misread. If the lines in the palm are favorable, this indicates a career having to do with ships and sailing. If the lines are unfavorable, this means very foolhardy ventures will be undertaken which will come to no good. In Hassan's defense, most for-profit readers lean toward the positive, so they would not warn against bad things, only lead the customer toward optimistic ideals. Of course, Hassan was also looking at her right hand, and years later, so who knows? The Mount of the Moon. Normal development of the Mount of the Moon means a love of the strange and mysterious, and all through life there will be a fascination for the exceptional, the rare, and the unexplained. She may cling to acquaintances who are really unworthy of her, merely because she has a sentimental regard for them. The individual will be disturbed continually by the most frightening dreams. In her waking hours, she will be sad and dispirited, worrying about terrible things in the future which will never occur. She will have to remember that half of the slights and unkindnesses which she imagines she has been made the victim of are really non-existent, and that an oversensitivity on her part is leading her to suppose things which do not exist. Overdevelopment is a warning against acute melancholy. Unless she guards against this too active imagination, it will hold her back in her career and thwart her chances for success and advancement by alienating her from people who are in a position to help her. The lines on the mounts. One cross line on the sun. One line means you will be rich and greatly admired. 3 lines, you have a genuine talent which is never going to be fully appreciated. On the moon, several lines. You are going to be troubled with many little problems. Love is not going to turn out happily. The principal lines of the hand. The line of the head. This line is to gauge one's intelligence. When it is well defined, straight, and runs well across the palm, it is an indication that the individual will always display good judgment in decisions. Downward and ending in large and widespread forks. A sign of genius. A branch ascending to Mercury. Success in motion pictures or on the stage. A branch ascending and joining with the heart line. Marriage ended suddenly. She has 3 of these. Joined to the lifeline by netted lines. You are going to make the most money doing something you do not like to do.
How do you put it around your neck?
You don't, Lovey. It goes on your head.
You must think I was born yesterday.
Well, sometimes there's just no other possible explanation.
Curiously, she does not have a star at the end of this line, which would mean an unexpected ending. The line of the heart. Normally, this line begins under the Mount of Jupiter, beginning between Jupiter and Saturn. It means love is not going to come to the individual. She will have to seek it. There will be an ideal family life in which the individual will make a very kind and loving parent.
You're my 2 sweethearts. My 2 best sweethearts in the whole world.
If it is long and dipping downward momentarily, then resuming its course, it means duplicity, offering good grounds for jealousy and anger. A netted line means you will never be able to make up your mind whom you love best, and so your affections will constantly be changing. 1 to 4 breaks are signs of broken engagements. A break under the sun, the breaking off of a very foolish engagement in which the partners were obviously mismatched and would never be happily married. This is a very fortunate sign. The line of life. Based on the guide in the book, the point where the line of life actually ends on this scale gives the approximate length of the subject's life. In young Norma Jeane's left palm, her lifeline intended for her to live a long life to the age of about 72. But this prediction must also be supplemented by analysis of the bracelet, so we'll come back to that in a moment. The line of health. Short and dim. Unless care is taken, you are going to have trouble with your teeth. I guess care was taken. Ending between Mounts of Moon and Mount of Mars, the individual has a gift for prophecy, which may be a great asset to her someday. A star means there will never be more than 1 child if the subject marries. The line of the sun, or Apollo. The presence of the line of Apollo always indicates an aptitude for the arts. If there is a branch connecting it with the headline, the individual has an ability in writing poetry, novels, or plays. The line of fate. If the line starts from the lifeline, it is a very favorable sign, showing that the individual's ambitions are going to be realized in the course of things to come. If failure is shown elsewhere, then it will not be deserved, for you will be the victim of some evil person's actions. A branch leading to the mount of the moon means great peril through the individual's own foolishness. Remember earlier when I mentioned the bracelet? Well, you've made it. The first line of the bracelet at the base of the palm represents about 33 years of life. The second stands for 25 or 28 years. The third line stands for about 22 years, so that with 3 lines in the bracelet, an age between 80 and possibly 85 is indicated. I see a dim 4th bracelet with young Marilyn, which to me suggests her potential to live well beyond her own years. The Girdle of Venus. If it is well outlined and without breaks when other signs are favorable, she will usually be found in jolly company of people who like good things to eat and drink, who like to play and dance, who live at a fast pace for the thrills that are to be got out of life. When the other signs are unfavorable, the Girdle of Venus is a most unfortunate omen. Her passionate nature will lead her down the primrose path, and her willpower will be too weak to avert her final ruin. What talents she has will be dissipated and lost through drinking and overindulgence of every kind. Marriage lines. The number of marriage lines has nothing to do with the amount of marriages the individual is going to have. Anyway, she has 3, maybe 4. Her third line seems to break and continue for a short stint. Marriage will end in divorce or permanent separation. A double line. She seems to have a double on the second line. Violent quarrels and reconciliations during marriage. The line of Luna, or the line of the moon. If short and straight, the individual will be best suited to some occupation which will require a good deal of traveling. Where have I heard that before? I did notice that she appears to have a small wart on the inside of her ring fingertip, so I checked other sources to find its possible meaning, although, to be fair, it could be a bit of sand, but that's unlikely considering the other photos taken immediately before and after this one included a lot of face touching and hand touching that would have likely knocked loose any sand. One source claimed warts on the hands reflect self-judgment, being irritated with yourself and mentally overloaded, with things generally feeling out of control. Another said, warts represent feeling embarrassed about the area they are affecting in the hand, and it is her ring finger. She may have been feeling embarrassment about the way she had just ended her marriage to Jim, or that she was already a divorcee at 19. I've felt insecure and embarrassed about much smaller things.
I wonder what your hands say about you.
I all but guarantee you looked at your own hand at least once during this video, so tell me, do your hands have any lines that hers are lacking, or vice versa? Do you have any lines in common with young Norma Jeane? Do you wish you could see her in her predicted 72 to 85 years? That would have been between 1998, the year we lost Frank Sinatra, through 2011, the year we lost Jane Russell. Do you think her palm predicted correctly? Is there anything you disagreed with? This old book has a bunch of other readings in it that I can do for Marilyn. Leave a comment if you'd like to see me do her numerology, horoscope, or more like this. I'd be really interested to find out those things myself. Leave a comment if you think it would be funny for me to print this picture out and take it to a couple of real-life palm readers and see what they say. I wouldn't tell them whose it was until after the reading.
And if you've ever had your palms read, let me know what you thought about that. Thank you ever so for watching. And I'll see you next Marilyn Monday.